Namaste everyone. I welcome you all to this NPTEL SWAYAM course of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In this course, we are going to study about the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and how these 17 SDG goals are carrying the potential to transform our world. So over the time, you can see through this illustration how human activity has spread across the planet, So beautifully illustrated over here, you can see like how human society has the impact on a limited scale in the beginning of the time, where all other species also got, like a equal access and equal share of, like everything around us, all the resources and the whole planet itself. And gradually, like how it has, increased in ratio and proportion, and the raw nature as we know it is now left in a very minuscule, like a percentage. Okay, so that's the big change, generally like anybody can understand, anybody can see. So the big question over here is, what was the life like before modernization, before electricity was invented, before actually industrialization came into our society, right? Because these typically can be termed as the turning points, turning periods, from where this present form of development has actually taken its pace. And on the second part, if you see, what do we mean by sustainable? Ensuring, like tomorrow, ensuring the future of tomorrow, ensuring the guarantee that what we have access to the resources and the whole planet, okay, is going to be carried forward for the tomorrow generation also. That is a sustainable, format of, like a development, okay, without harming the environment, without harming any other living or non-living entities of the environment, and which continues for a long time. Well, what do we know of the development? Well, development, as we know, which is like happening around us for the last like several decades and perhaps 2 centuries preferably, and it's growing bigger and bigger, and like it's better also, like it's facilitating like all of us. It has brought so much of comfort, it has brought so much of supplies of things around us. It has made our life like satisfied and pampered. Well, so how actually this development has has changed the pace of the change which was like coming in the environment at a very accelerated rate. Okay, so the point here about like bringing SDGs, that these SDGs actually carry the potential to bring a certain format of development which is cohesive, which is like a friendlier to the rest of the other species also and this whole planet in itself, right? So you can see like any or like all of these like SDGs, like perhaps you already know like by this time what are these SDGs, right? And how much of like a potential that they carry for like all of these areas where like they have set their targets on, right? So for example, if I see remove poverty, remove hunger, bringing like a cohesive like development for each and everyone. Okay, so all of those actually SDGs carry this potential, and this is what exactly we are going to learn in this course, learn in this like a subject. So these are the 17 SDGs listed over here. Well, the objectives of the course are, first we will try understanding the cause and effect model, like what has led to this catastrophic situation. Like we are all talking about global warming effects, pollution, right, emissions, like these exhaustion of resources. So what are the root causes of all of these like phenomena, right? So that causal mapping we will try to establish it, so that we know the root causes, and you yourself will be able to understand and map these causal maps, so that you can carry out your own research wherever you are working, whichever field you are working in. Then we will try understanding the role of the United Nations in leading this global initiative, what we know it as like a UN Sustainable Development Goals. Thirdly, the need for UN SDGs. What is the need for like climate change mitigation? What is this mitigation? We will try understanding through this. And lastly, we will see the details of UN SDGs and efforts at Indian and international level. Well, the course content. UN SDGs are a roadmap for bringing a paradigm shift in prevalent economic model. The course tries to establish the underlying understanding behind this UN-led initiative and value of sustainable development, how it touches our lives and the efforts required to achieve them. The course intends to elaborate on the evolution of scope under dynamic concept of sustainability and UN SDGs-led cohesive societal framework to evolve a resilient community across the world. The course elaborates on 17 UN SDGs, their systemic perspectives mapping and need for tomorrow. It talks about interconnectedness of planet, product, processes with respect to the SDGs. It touches the Paris Agreement on climate change, India's participation in it, commitment towards SDGs and the recent summits also. It also shows a glimpse of innovation-led design processes to undertake challenges in its path. Justifications for this course. It has been established that the present model of growth and development has caused an imbalance on three aspects of sustainability vis-a-vis environmental, societal and economic, especially after the industrialization. This has led the United Nations to redefine the model of growth and development into a sustainable one and hence the UN SDGs. UN launched UN SDGs in 2015 and with the support of 193 member countries, it is gaining momentum as the realization of climate change related catastrophes are increasing globally. Well, in this course, I am going to cover total 33 modules. You can see the details over here. All the modules and the topics which are covered inside, these are listed over here. So in the middle of the course, we will be covering all the SDGs, and in the beginning we have introduction related and context related topics like introduction, then SDGs and how it is bringing the world in the order, the current model of scenarios and scenarios of growth and development, need for change, the various definitions, aspects and transition from the previous NDGs to the present SDGs, the role of United Nations, scope and inclusion and Agenda 2030, distinctions between development and sustainable development, circular economy, design for sustainability, system thinking, etc., causal mapping, systemic mapping, problem identification, identifying probable interventions for the sustainable development framework and structuring of 17 SDGs, then one by one all the SDGs, and finally we will be studying interrelationships and connectedness between all the SDGs and how they are structured, how they are layered. So you can see over here in the module 17, economy SDGs, then society SDGs, then biosphere SDGs, financing the SDGs, the another a very important thing, these SDGs are coming from the United Nations. Well, what is the mechanism to fund these? Because any initiative and such an initiative which is happening at the global level, how is it being funded? Who is funding it? Okay, so those procedures, implementing planning, capacity building and finance, then climate change conferences, summits, etc. And then finally we will see some case studies from around the world, then case studies from India, the nodal agency of implementation of SDGs in India, and state level reports, and finally we will be doing the summary part. This course is going to be evaluated based on the assignments which will be submitted weekly and a final project or a paper at the end of it. Well, this is me. I am Dr. Shivaji from IIT Hyderabad. These are the references for your deeper understanding, or if you want to learn more on these, you should refer. Well, there are plenty of literature available over different internet and libraries. So I welcome you all again to this course. Thank you very much.